If you've ever tried polishing jewelry or metal parts by hand, you know it can be a slow, messy process that eats up way too much time. So when I heard about this little machine that's supposed to handle all the polishing for you, I had to give it a try. This is the VEVOR KT185 Magnetic Pin Tumbler, and it promises to clean up and shine your pieces without any of the elbow grease. It's compact, easy to use, and has adjustable rotation settings so you can fine-tune how your pieces are polished. I've been running it for the past month on some of my custom brass coins, and the results honestly surprised me. Welcome back to Hoffman Engineering, let's get into it. But before we begin, this magnetic pin tumbler was sent for me to review by VEVOR. As with all of my reviews, they aren't paying me for this review, and everything I say is my own honest opinion after using this pin tumbler for the last month. My videos do have affiliate links in the description, so if you are interested in anything you see in my videos, from tumblers to accessories, you can use those links and discount codes to help support our channel. We appreciate it. The VEVOR KT185 Magnetic Pin Tumbler is designed for polishing jewelry and other small items. At the top is a clear polycarbonate barrel. Fill the barrel up to the line with water and polishing fluid like Shine Bright and drop in the very fine steel pins. Then place the items you want to polish inside of the barrel and turn it on. The strong magnets inside of the tumbler will cause the steel pins to rub against the jewelry. This abrasive action will remove burrs and evens the surface, polishing and removing any rust or black spots. The magnetic tumbler is pretty compact, with the whole machine measuring 9.1 inches by 9.1 inches by 14.9 inches and weighing just 20 pounds. The polycarbonate barrel has a capacity of 6.6 pounds or 3 kilograms. At the front is a multifunctional panel. The right side has a red timer that can be set between 2 minutes and 1 hour, or you can have the machine run indefinitely. On the left is a switch to control one-way rotation or two-way rotation. For two-way rotation, the tumbler will rotate one direction for 15 minutes and then automatically switch directions. This makes polishing more efficient. On the sides are handles, which makes it easy to move the polisher around, and around back is a cooling fan to keep the magnets and electronics cool. The polisher has built-in protection to detect if it is overheating after extended use, and will pause to cool down if needed. My longest polishing test was 2 hours, and it didn't need to pause during that test, but it's good to know that the machine will protect itself if needed. The pin tumbler comes fully assembled. It was a matter of removing it from the box, peeling off some plastic, and placing the plexiglass barrel on top. VEVOR includes 200 grams of steel burnishing pins. The pins themselves are about 0.3 millimeters in diameter and roughly 5 millimeters long. These small pins make them ideal for getting into the fine details of jewelry. The full color manual is nicely written and walks you through all of the specs and steps needed for operation. That's always good to see. The first thing I'd recommend is cleaning the steel pins. Fill the polishing barrel with water up to the recommended mark, throw in the pins, and have the polisher run. We want to remove any manufacturing oils, rust, or other coatings from the pins. After 20 minutes, you can see just how dirty the water has gotten. You can also add some normal dish soap to give it some extra cleaning power. Ideally, you'd let it run, periodically changing out the water until the water was no longer getting dirty. I ended up letting my pins clean for about an hour, but as we'll see in a bit, I probably should have let them run longer. The VEVOR Magnetic Pin Tumbler was moderately loud when running. I measured an average of 65 decibels from a couple feet away. That is about the same as a normal conversation or a busy cafe. This is not unbearably loud, but I wouldn't plan on having it running on your desk if you need to concentrate. So let's jump into a project. Recently, I've been obsessed with making custom brass coins using my fiber lasers. I've been using a Dremel and a wire wheel to clean the coins before hand polishing. You can see this video here for my current process, but I'm hoping that the VEVOR Magnetic Pin Tumbler can make my coin polishing much easier. So I have 4 custom brass coins engraved on the Monport GA60 and the Com Marker B6 fiber lasers, which you can check out my reviews of here if you are interested. Here are the before pictures. The flowers are a smoother, less detailed design. You can see the coins have a matte finish off of the fiber laser, with burrs on some of the edges, whereas the spiders have a lot more detail with smaller nooks and crannies with all of the webbing. This first spider coin was cut too deeply, and you can see it engraved all the way through, leaving black burn marks on the backside. Because the flower coins look similar, I scratched 1 and 2 lines on the back to keep track of them. Let's get to polishing. I filled the polishing barrel up with water, added the pins, and threw the 4 coins in. Turning the tumbler on, I was initially surprised to see the coins bunched up together. They'd spin around on one side and then eventually get flipped over onto the other side. And we can see how vigorously the pins are rubbing against the coins, even though the coins are mostly staying on top. After 10 minutes, this is what the water looks like. And the water is starting to get warm from all of the friction of the pins. Comparing the coins, we can see a bit of a difference already. The matte flowers are getting a more uniform appearance, and the black spots on the spider coins are being removed, especially around the holes in the back of the first one. But there is still a lot more work to be done. So I put it back in for 20 more minutes, bringing us to 30 minutes total. Here we can see most of the burrs being removed from the first flower, and the second flower is starting to pick up a brass shine. The spider coins are getting cleaned up as well. We can see the flat spots between the web ridges are getting shinier, but the pins haven't quite cleaned up the corners where the webbing meets the flat bottom. The black spots on the back are gone, but we are starting to see some discoloring or blackening on that back surface. So let's put the coins in for another 30 minutes, bringing us to a total of 1 hour polishing. The water is getting very warm now, as you can tell by the condensation on the sides. Not hot enough to hurt my hands though. After an hour, we can see the burrs are completely gone, and we can see the raw hatch pattern from the fiber laser engraving pretty clearly. The surface is uniform. This is about the results that I'd normally get using a brass wire wheel on my Dremel for these flower coins. The spider coins look very similar to the 30-minute results. The flat bottom surfaces continue to get more polished, but the pins don't seem to quite be getting into the small corners of the webs very well. You can still see those inner burrs. But the black spots on the back are all but gone at this point. One last run. I let the coins run for an additional hour, bringing the total polishing time to 2 hours. Looking at the polisher using my thermal camera, we can see that the water is at 50 degrees Celsius. Pretty warm to the touch. Looking at the rest of the polisher, we can see that the machine is warm, with the electronics on the inside at about 60 degrees Celsius. But it never overheated, and the machine's thermal protection didn't kick in during these 2 hours. The water at this last hour is very dark, almost black. After draining the water, I was surprised by the results. The coins have taken on a very dark appearance. The nice polished brass that we saw after 1 hour has turned into an aged, antique look after about 2 hours. The surfaces are noticeably smoother to the touch, all burrs and rough edges are all gone and smoothed out. I have a feeling the darkening is due to the steel pins not being thoroughly cleaned before starting, and that debris combined with the hot water soup allowed the brass to be coated and darkened. But it's certainly worth experimenting with. So in conclusion, I found the VEVOR Magnetic Pin Tumbler to be excellent at polishing. You can throw all of your items into the polishing barrel and let the machine do the work for you. With my brass coins, I found the best results to be about 1 hour of polishing, but the most effective polishing time would change depending on your material and shape and size. The magnetic tumbler is more gentle than a rotary tumbler, so it would be less likely to damage your jewelry during the polishing process. VEVOR also recommended adding a polishing compound to the water for the best results. I've seen fluids like Shine Bright be recommended. I want to experiment with different polishing compounds in a future video. If you have suggestions for how to best use a magnetic pin tumbler like this, tools and techniques that work for you, let me know in the comments. But I had an excellent time with the VEVOR tumbler, and I think that it's an effective way to polish jewelry and other fine items. It comes with everything you need to get up and running and was intuitive to use. The VEVOR KT185 magnetic pin tumbler is on sale for $169 at the time of recording. Be sure to check out my link and the coupon code in the description for a discount for my viewers. Thank you, VEVOR. At $169, that makes VEVOR Magnetic Pin Tumbler one of the least expensive magnetic tumblers on the market. If you are looking for a way to efficiently deburr and polish items, I would highly recommend the VEVOR Magnetic Pin Tumbler. So thank you all for watching my review of the VEVOR Magnetic Pin Tumbler. What was your favorite feature? What features do you think it's missing? Let me know in the comments below. And I have plenty of upcoming projects and reviews in the works, so be sure to subscribe to Hoffman Engineering so you don't miss out on those coming soon. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.